We're live, we're live, we're live. Like. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have an amazing show in store for you.
And we got
today.
an amazing guest.
Amazing show, amazing guest.
Sometimes we run across people that have figured out a few things about life and they're willing to share those things. I want to talk about this, baby. Every now and then you see a rock star business person or a rock star celebrity that seemingly comes out of nowhere.
And
they give them labels, like this person was an overnight success. Mm-hmm. I remember like Fantasia Barrino was an overnight success. Really, the Beatles were an overnight success in America.
Absolutely.
An overnight success. No, actually.
Good morning, Miss Phyllis. Thank you for joining us.
For 7 years, the Beatles played every single night.
And
7 days a week for 7 years in a row in pubs getting their stuff together.
There's a statistic that it takes 15 years.
15 years to create an overnight success. But what if it don't happen in 15 years? What if it happens in 25 years or 35 years or 45 years or 50 years?
Well,
some great books are written by people in their senior years. Great businesses started in senior years. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a good time today with our special guest today. Today's topic is
what makes
an overnight success.
We're going to talk about it. Back in a moment.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like. Good morning again. We are so grateful that you joined us on this fantastic
Is that Miss Phyllis up in the hizzy already?
Hey, what's good? Today is Tuesday. It is the 28th of the month. We had a day off on yesterday. You don't have to fix it. Miss Phyllis is just recognizing it. She said it looks like you have a tail from the back of your hair, the shadow from the window. It's not going away. Too. It's not going away. You can't move the sun.
And it's coming from the side.
It's okay. It's not bothering me. So we are talking today, getting ready to talk with our amazing guest at the 9:15 mark. But we're talking a little bit about what makes an overnight success.
Miss Phyllis, thank you for that. You know why Miss Phyllis said that? Because she's taking ownership. She's a part of this.
Every day.
She's on the production team.
Absolutely.
You're a producer, Miss Phyllis.
She's a producer. We appreciate our audience who realize that the show is also theirs.
So often we forget what it took to get us to where we are.
I don't forget.
Not necessarily you and I, but as a people. Sometimes we forget. That's why I'm hoping Mark Greer comes in here today.
Absolutely.
Shout out Mark Greer. Because Mark Greer never forgets about his ancestors and on whose shoulders he stands upon.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what do you think about when you think about an overnight success? I think about consistent hard work.
Amen. Go there, because I got an idea too. I remember Dave Chappelle talked about how some people called him an overnight success. But do you realize that man was performing comedy in nightclubs
before he was old enough to be in a nightclub?
Since he was 14.
Absolutely. Good morning, international best-selling author Cynthia B. Moore. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Eddie Murphy was in stand-up clubs at age 15.
I thought it was 16, but yeah.
15. Both of their mothers took them to the thing to do that. But Eddie Murphy, you discovered him when he was 24 on Saturday Night Live. But that's
still not old.
Right.
That's still not old.
But so much of the time, Lisa said she thinks of overnight success. She thinks of consistent, determined efforting, because that's what it takes.
Absolutely.
Have you seen the Grand Canyon? Have you ever visited it? Have you ever visited the Grand Canyon?
Yes, I have.
It's in Arizona. Okay. Some people think it's
in the
Nevada.
Midwest.
Okay,
yeah.
but it's there. Okay. When we stayed in Vegas, we went over to Grand Canyon because it wasn't that far. But
good
Grand
morning,
Canyon,
Lena Janelle. Thank you for joining us this morning.
If you stand on one of the observation decks at the Grand Canyon where they have like the barriers there, and you can like really, really get a good view. And if you stand still and look at that, it's vast. It's vast.
I didn't like it.
It's awesome. Wait. Let me make this point. It was awesome. Okay, it's really, really impressive. And all of that Grand Canyon was carved by the Colorado River. One river streaming through, created this immense thing, this Grand Canyon. Consistent effort created the Grand Canyon. Good morning, Cynthia Moore.
Lena Janelle says, good morning, Empowerment Duo and family. Cynthia says, I'm going to try to stay on. Are you going to try because the stability of your internet, or because you're back to work? She's back to work. I'm so excited.
Yes.
All the progress you've been making.
Lena Janelle, good morning to you. You know who today's birthday is?
Who is?
My cousin Mary. Today's her birthday. She's 60-something now. But happy birthday, cousin Mary.
Every birthday counts.
Yeah, they all count. That's
Even
true.
if you're 60-something. Hey,
Even
Terry Robinson.
99.
Good morning, Uzama Ra.
Good morning, Terry Robinson. Good morning, Mr. Uzama Ra.
Today's topic is what makes an overnight success. What say you? What makes an overnight success?
It's going to be hard for us to get away from the thought that it takes consistent effort, persistent, long enough effort to create an overnight.
So not just yesterday?
Nah, it don't happen like that. Has it ever happened like that? Well, sometimes I can think of a case. Justin Bieber did a live audio himself singing, and somebody saw this video on YouTube, said I could do something with that.
Well, that was almost at the advent of this new generation of overnight stuff, because things didn't happen like that before the access of social media.
Criss Cross, the group, that's before social media too, but Criss Cross, you make them want to jump the Mac Daddy, make them. Jermaine Dupri saw them perform somewhere.
So even again, that's not an overnight success. No. That's their overnight success. But Jermaine Dupri and was it Usher that found?
No, it was another guy before Usher. Some guy brought him.
That
Usher.
Found Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
So it was a result of someone else's efforting that they borrowed their cachet and moved forward. Jay Mattier back in the building from Costa Rica. What's good, my brother? Uzama Rock
up Costa Rica,
going viral.
Yeah, it was good for Justin Bieber. Did Jay and Katrina rip up Costa Rica? Is there anything left standing after you two blew through Costa Rica? I would love to hear Jay Mattier's thought on this.
Hey, Emily, good morning.
What
Terrific
makes an overnight
Tuesday.
success?
That's right. And Ernest James Usher. Where you at these days, Ernest James Usher?
You got to check with him. He can be anywhere.
We know you in the UK, and I think it's the afternoon for you right now, about 2:00.
Uzama Ra, I would love your opinion on what do you believe it takes to make an overnight success. Lena Janelle says the Grand Canyon is proof of God's greatness. Happy birthday, Miss Mary. Miss Mary. I'm gonna share that with my cousin, because she would be so tickled by that you said it, Lena. It would tickle her so much that Lena said that about my cousin. So Lisa's captured it. That'd be great. It don't take much to tickle my family, anybody. So they don't tickle them. I'm gonna tell that a regular on our show, one of our co-producers, said that about her. Ernest James Usher says, "No, I'm still in Kuwait. Oh well, wow. I'm here for a year. I'll be back in the UK next year. He's in Kuwait for a year." Ernest James Usher also submits, overnight success is a tough one because you have to measure the word success by your definition and their definition to say it's successful, right? Yeah, kind of. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, kind of. Okay. I agree with him that you measure success by your own definition. And I agree with him again on other people get to define what they think it is too. Okay. What I'm talking about, how long does it take?
Lena Janelle says, I respectfully disagree with you, Brian.
Okay.
Bieber and Crisscross weren't overnight successes.
Make your point.
They did hit early, but it took time.
Okay, you're probably right. You're probably right, because she typically is. But make your point. Make your point, my sister. We got a guest that's going to be here in 7 minutes that's going to break it down. I mean, we've had some great guests before, okay? We've had a lot of great guests before, and this one is going to be another one. He's going to be a great guest. This brother, I met with him. He's loving. He's wise. He's patient. He's got stories to tell your butt.
I can't with you. So these days, is going viral, is that actually one of the characteristics
that's what
an overnight success?
Is that Dwight Robinson? What's up, man? How you doing, sir?
What's good? Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. And on this topic, we appreciate your input. What makes an overnight success?
Do you even want to be that? Is that something desired? You know, I know I told this story not that long ago about that farmer who had a farm that was rocky and difficult to till, and he was having a rough go of it. His land was covered by all these rocks, these black rocks all over his land, and some of the rocks were kind of like shiny, you know. And he had a difficult time with his farm, but he hears the story about people discovering diamonds in the mines and becoming wealthy right away. He hears people tell a story about,
hey, Donnie,
if they go in the mines and they dig and they find a diamond, now they're rich right away. And he wants some of that sudden richness himself. So he sells his farm and goes seeking out diamonds in the mines and in the rivers. And he spends the rest of his life panhandling in the rivers, striking at the mines, digging, looking for diamonds. And he would find a small diamond here and there, but never found success.
Jacqueline. Good morning. Good morning.
Now, he sold that farm to another farmer. The other farmer also found the farm rocky and difficult to till. And one day when he was trying to till his rocky farm and had a river right through it, one of the rocks was particularly bigger than the others, and it reflected off the sun in an interesting way. So he took it home and he put it on his mantle. He had an out-of-town visitor come. The visitor walked into his living room, looked up on the mantle, and says, "Oh, where did you find a diamond like that?" That's not a diamond. That's a rock. I know what diamonds look like in their rough state, and I'm telling you, that's a diamond. Turned out to be a diamond of enormous value. The guy had acres of it. His river was filled with them. The first farmer sold his farm looking for instant wealth. When he all the time already owned acres of what he was already looking for.
Absolutely. Jacqueline says, Arizona morning, everyone. For me, it often appears to be overnight success.
It appears to be.
I do a lot of quiet investing, preparing and building. And when I am properly prepared and God gives me the green light, I stand in my spotlight and enjoy all the blessings that look like an overnight success. I prepared my cards.
Yes,
and
you did.
Bam. Businesses across the country are ordering. What a blessing.
What a great example Sister Jacqueline is. She made her cards. She prepared them with love and care. She sent some to us. We shared them. Other people received them and shared the word to every single person that Jacqueline Rosie sent cards to. Dr. Deborah. Everyone that she sent cards to fell in love with them just like we did. And when you get one of Sister Jacqueline's cards, it's impossible not to talk about it.
Absolutely.
You want to tell
James
people about
Usher says, now where they fail to keep the success if they can't capitalize on the video. So they were only funny, gifted, or good, and in the eyes of the public for one moment.
Yeah.
When they tried other avenues after that moment, they fail. Some, however, build and go great. These can be overnight success. I love this topic because I see it all the time.
What's
Amen.
up?
Good morning.
Cousin Mookming got some more family. My cousin Mookming. I love my cousin Mookming. Good morning, cuz.
It's 3 minutes to our guests. 3 minutes to our guests.
3 minutes to our guests. 3 minutes, our guest is going to be here.
Hey, Donnie. She says, hey, family.
Cousin Mook, I did what you asked me to do. I did reach out, and I haven't gotten a response yet, cuz. But when I get a response, I will let you know. But I did reach out, okay? Good morning, Donnie Houston. How are you? Who's that under Donnie? Was that Jacqueline? Okay,
Jacqueline,
okay.
I read that. Yes.
Okay, good.
So we're all caught up in the comments, and we are bringing
2 minutes.
up our fantastic guest in 2 minutes.
Did you print his thing or no?
No, you want to go? Well, you can access it. Do you want to? You do.
Phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lena Janelle says #my case. I believe it can happen, but in most cases, there are years of preparation that the public doesn't see. I want even more success that I've already had, but I'm glad it didn't happen early in my career.
Okay.
A lot of folks who peak early decline early sometimes. Great story, Brian. Most people assume that your success came easier than it did. I'd rather the path of preparation. Amen.
And thank you, Lena. I love that comment that you wrote up, Lena, that Lisa just read off. And I got so much value out of what you just said, Sister Lena. You know, that overnight success, when you get it too early, you may not be ready. Okay. Would you give the 10-year-old the keys to the Cadillac? Okay. They're not ready to drive a Cadillac, even if they're tall enough. They're not ready. Throwing millions at 18-year-olds when they get drafted into the professional sports. Sometimes they're ready for that. Sometimes they're not. And they fall off and they make mistakes because they weren't ready for instant wealth. It's a proverb. Our guest today, I'm going to read his name. His name is Dr. Jimmy J. Davies. Dr. Jimmy J. Davies. Get that name in your head.
Absolutely. He is the founder of Every Dot Black LLC, whose mission is to educate and inspire people to create wealth through entrepreneurship by leveraging technology and implementing
a strategy of global networking. That's his name. Coming to the stage. That's what he's done, but he's done so much more. He's being modest. Coming to the stage, Dr. Jimmy J. Davies. What's up, man?
Well, thank you so much. You know, it's the first time I've watched your show, and I'm already enjoying it. This is great. I love your chemistry. I love it. Thank you.
You're the first person to talk about our chemistry on this show. Can you believe that?
No,
Really?
you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're here. Good morning to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, we've done our little intro of you, but I want to yield you some space right now. Please introduce yourself to this loving, entrepreneurial, mature audience, however you like.
Sure thing. Well, you know, you've been talking about an overnight success, and I say I've got a 35-year overnight success, right?
Okay.
Actually going into 36 years. But just to give you a little background information, born and raised in Flint, Michigan, grew up, and the parents, they always had a dream. They told us two things. One, get an education. They said, if you get an education, that's something no one can ever take away from you. And the other thing that they instilled in us, my sister, I have a sister, Kim. They say the other thing they instilled in us is anything that you want to achieve, you can if you're willing to work at it. And those two things I've just carried throughout my life. One, get an education. That's something no one can ever take away from you. And if you're willing to work at it, you can achieve anything. If you're willing to work at it, that's the key.
Amen.
So just to give you a synopsis, went to school, got a degree, actually in applied mathematics, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be a land surveyor.
Okay.
And after my third year, I realized I don't really like land surveying property. So I just went to my counselor and like, look, I just need to graduate. So he said, you got a lot of math. So I said, sign me up. So my degree's in applied mathematics. Ended up with a job with Social Security Administration in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, simply because it was a job. Started a family early on. Really, I had to have a daughter who's 50 years old now. I can't believe it. But anyway,
you got a daughter that's 50?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 60 now. I'll be 70.
Yeah, I was thinking like you must have been 9 or something when you had the first child.
Yeah, I'll be 70 in a couple of months. Like I don't know where the time went, but
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's worked for Social Security Administration, and I hated it. Mm-hmm. I began to realize I hated working for someone else. You know, it just wasn't for me. So I started trying other ventures. I tried real estate. I sold hot dogs at the county fair. I sold T-shirts. What else did I do? I had a janitorial service, right? And actually, my second janitorial service, a friend introduced me to a Macintosh computer.
That's what I want to get to, because it seems like you found your place in technology. Well, and you're an early adopter in artificial intelligence. But please go there. Go ahead.
Yeah, a friend introduced me to a Macintosh computer in the fall of 1987, and I can still remember it. It was when the Mac came out and the graphical user interface, and it was all brand new. And so in January of 1988, I'd say, friend showed me a computer 1987. In 1988, January 1988, I started McMaster's Computer Training Service, teaching people how to use computers.
Wait, you just got it 2 years before, and now you
started... 2 months before.
2 months before you started teaching people how to use it.
You had to use Macintosh computer in January of 1988.
Okay.
But I had 2 problems. I couldn't afford a computer, right? I didn't own one. And I didn't know how to use one. I just knew I had to get into this thing, right? So what I did, I could afford the books. So I started buying the books, and I would read the books on how to use this computer. And when people would hire me, I would go to them and we would use their computer. And that's how I learned working with other people's computers.
Ingenuity. I love it.
Absolutely. Our audience is perplexed with the fact that you have a 50-year-old. Lee Janelle says, "Sir, you do not have a 50-year-old daughter."
Yes, I do. Yes,
wow,
I do.
Black don't crack. Amen.
Well, I've been blessed too. My family members tend to live a long time. My mom, she was 102. My granddad was 101.
Your mom?
Yeah, well, she's passed away now. But the point is that we've got some longevity in our life. So I'm hoping to keep that trend going, right?
Yes, sir. Well, you look great. You really do. So.
Well, thank you. But let me just get it. I'm working my way up to where we are today.
Okay.
But anyway, so I started this computer training service in the late 80s, early 90s. And if you remember back then, if you're old enough to remember back then, no one knew how to use anything. All of the software was coming out and no one knew how to use anything. And I began to realize that. And so I started offering classes in different cities throughout Virginia. I lived in Virginia at the time, in Newport News and Hampton, Virginia. And I realized, like, wherever I go, people are companies are really trying to get a handle on this software and these coming out. So
let me get in there, because you're right. I remember the .com bubble, like 87, 88, 89, 90, those kinds of things. But these things were introduced, like Linux and all these different software things that no one knew how to use.
Exactly.
And when companies found one person that had any certification in any of those things, they threw all the money at them.
Absolutely. That's actually what happened to me early on. Early on, I was the technical support manager for a insurance company, not because I had the degrees, but because I had the books and studied them.
That's
and
right.
They created software that would allow the office to operate effectively. Ended up taking over the regional offices, not just the offices that I was in, but then it went regional. Then I was picked up by IBM, who brought me in, still having no formal technology training. And IBM trained me until I became second.
But you had an interest or an inkling.
Absolutely.
Please continue.
Absolutely.
But you're absolutely right. Like, no one knew how to use this stuff. And so I was teaching people how to use Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint,
absolutely,
MacWrite, PageMaker, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, Quark Express, InDesign, you name it. I've been teaching it for literally 35 years. But it got to the point in, like I said, the early 90s. So I went to the library to see, well, where are the other training companies? And so I stayed away from cities like Atlanta, DC. But I discovered there was no one providing training in Charleston, South Carolina, Columbia, Greenville, South Carolina, Lexington, Kentucky, Montgomery, Alabama, all these mid-sized cities. There's nobody. So I went to the computer magazines, Macworld at that time and Mac User, to buy their subscribers for all the people getting Macintosh computer magazines in the states of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama.
How smart that is.
And they sold me their subscriber list. So these people are getting Macintosh magazines. So I know they're Mac users. But I didn't have the money to afford the list, print the flyers, and nailed him. It took about $5,000 at the time. So I sold my car to raise the money. I believed in what I was doing. I sold my car to raise the money to send out thousands of flyers throughout these cities.
Absolutely.
And it worked.
Good morning, Cousin Lois. Thank you for joining, Shirley. Absolutely. Lena Jadell says supply and demand. Yes,
and
listening. Absolutely.
It worked. And so I would do 5 cities at a time because maybe 4 cities would go, but one might not. But so it would average out. Within a year, I was able to buy my first condo, buy my brand new car. I had to hire other instructors. Had to hire a marketing person, office manager. We were servicing 40 cities in a dozen states within a few years, teaching people how to use software, going from city to city to city.
But you probably made $1 or $2 as well, right?
We made a ton of money. However, at that time, at that age, I didn't have the money management skills, and I wondered where did all that money go.
So you were in your, what, 20s, 30s, 40s?
I was in my 30s, early 30s, and people just throwing money at us. Like, I was at NASA for 2 years teaching people at NASA how to use computers. We did training for the military. So around the year 2000, I could start to see a decline in the demand. Come to the community colleges were offering classes. And actually, when the colleges were first offering the classes, they came to me because their instructors, the professors, didn't know how to use the software. Mm-hmm. So I was an adjunct professor, teacher at a number of colleges. But in the year 2000, I started specializing in FileMaker database development, developing databases for.
Wait. We gotta move you forward because we only got 8 minutes left with you. So
okay,
go ahead.
I'm getting there. I'm getting, trust me. So I started doing FileMaker database development, and for the last 6 years, I was developing medical software for a clinic in Raleigh. But in 2015, I left because I was always chasing money, and I wasn't chasing my purpose. Mm-hmm. And so I left in 2015, and shortly after that, I met a man by the name of Dr. Joel Dudley Sr.
Yes.
And he has these weekly meetings, mastermind meetings, helping entrepreneurs of, it doesn't matter what you do. And it dawned on me, I need to use my technology skills to help entrepreneurs with their technology. And in 2018, that's when Every.Black was born.
Wait, what year?
2018.
2018.
January.
Every.Black was born. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we launched Every.Black, and now we're using my technology skills, 35 years of tech skills, teaching entrepreneurs how to use technology in today's world. Because it doesn't matter what type of business you have today, you have to embrace technology, and especially AI. This AI thing is big. So I've been telling people this AI thing is really big. And so something I just launched actually since the time I met you is the Black AI Consortium. We just launched it a few days ago.
Facebook group.
The Facebook group. And the reason we launched it, yes, you are. We appreciate that. And the reason we launched it is because I'm hearing people from all over wanting to learn about AI in the Black community, but there's no central umbrella for us to come to learn and share our thoughts about what are we doing with AI? What are you doing? How can I help the next person achieve whatever it is they want to achieve? Because I tell people, if you don't get on board with this thing, you will be left behind. It's that big. So anyway, let me stop there for that. Trying to bring you up to speed because it's like
all right. We're up to speed now, but I want to talk to you, man. His name is Dr. Jimmy J. Davies. If you've never heard of him, I'm happy to introduce him to you. Do connect with him. Get him part of what he's doing. Absolutely. He has told the tale of him using his brain power, his idea, his awareness, his being alert, if you will, to discover opportunities for himself. And he found a place for himself. And you're involved with more things than that. Actually, y'all saw last week we had Dr. George Frazier in here, mm-hmm. and Dr. Jimmy Davies is a part of what we were recommending, this upcoming event called
Power Networking
Experience EX. Please share quickly your involvement with that.
Sure thing. Well, actually, it goes back to Dr. Joel Dudley Sr. of Dudley Hair Care Products, because that's where I first met George Frazier. We were commissioned to conduct the Joel Dudley Senior Legacy Project, documenting his 50 years plus in business. He just passed away this February.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the people that we interviewed for that legacy project of Joe Dudley is Dr. George Frazier, who was influenced by Joe Dudley. And that's why Dr. Frazier is honoring Joe Dudley at the Power Networking Experience and Expo in July in Charlotte. And so that's our connection. And so by supporting, naturally we want to support Dr. Frazier because that's our whole thing is we want to support entrepreneurs. We want to especially bring entrepreneurs into the light of technology. So so we're all on board with that, and he has an affiliate program. And that's not just me; there's a whole team of people, and I'm just blessed to be one of them. But my particular part in that is I'm trying to help the affiliates, people that want to help promote this event, to sell more registrations and get more people to the event.
Amen. So one of the things Dr. George Frazier said last week on our show was, because he's been married for 52 years, I believe is what he said. Mm-hmm. He said one of the keys to his marriage, or what advice he would give to any successful marriage, is a word called amnesia. Okay.
Right.
And I'm going to have to figure out a way to forget that fart my wife just made live. She just let one rip, Lena. Did y'all hear it?
I can't even believe you. I
gotta forget
you.
Dr. Deborah, good morning.
Dr. Deborah.
Dr. Deborah, I found some old pictures with you here at our home on the back patio. One night it was cold. We was out there listening to music with cigars and all that. But anyway,
Jacqueline says, what an amazing blessing you are, Dr. Davies. I've been using all this tech stuff almost 30 years, and I still struggle as soon as I think I got it. There's an update. I have been to 3 AI workshops so far. Thank God for one of my daughters has computer training from, and she can build one from scratch.
Amen. Good morning, Dr. Deborah.
Good morning. And Lena Chanel goes on to say, embracing AI. What a great idea. My mentors told me this too. What's the name of the Facebook again? The Facebook group again. Mm-hmm. I love this. Frazier is honoring Mr. Dudley. Wow. Can't miss this expo. We hope you don't, Lena. You know it's here in Charlotte. Amen.
Jay Mattier submits, it takes at least 10 years of work before people see an overnight success.
Absolutely. Lena Janelle, I'm not thinking about Brian. Uzama says MSU and
Apple pays people to learn app development. And I'm starting in September. Amen. Because that's what Uzama does.
Amen.
He's like you, Dr. Davies. He pays attention.
He's a doer.
Okay. Cousin Kenny. Kenny, what's up, cuz? How you doing? We got a few people in here.
So we appreciate
Sister Latasha Vinay, good morning. We have an amazing guest here. So you told us a great story, and I knew it would motivate people. I knew people would be inspired by your story. Early adopters get ahead. Late adopters get left behind. He's implored you to get on board. Say the name of the Facebook group again, please, sir.
Sure. The name of the Facebook group is the Black AI Consortium. The Black AI Consortium.
Black AI Consortium. And we're going to have you come back because I want to delve deeper into every.black, but we don't have that time now. But what I want to do with the last minute and a half, 2 minutes we have left with you is I want to ask you, because our audience here is mature, they're entrepreneur, they're loving, they're supportive. They all are, okay? And mostly Black people. What do you want to leave with them? What do you want to say to them? What do you want to impart with them or teach them or share with them with this waiting audience? What do you got for them?
Well, there's 2 things. One, I just want to say persistence, and you mentioned that earlier. Whatever it is, you got to find your passion and be persistent about it, no matter what anyone else says. The other thing is that I have a quote that I said, whenever there's change, there's opportunities. And since change is constant, there's always opportunities, but you have to look for it. You have to look for it, and you have to act on it when you see it.
Love it. You've been an amazing guest, and I knew you would be. We're going to go on the air for another 10 minutes or so.
We do ask that if you want to connect with Dr. Jimmy J. Davies, you do so at jimmy@every.black or go to every.black. And you can find him on social media at black on all social media handles. That's Instagram, Facebook. find him, connect with the Facebook group as well.
Let him know you saw him here.
The Black AI Consortium on his Facebook group.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Amen.
I'm happy to be a part of that. Can you hang out in the green room or do you have to run?
No, I can hang out for a bit.
All right, thank you very much. We'll come back to you. If you want to make comments on the rest of the show gets nutty in about a few minutes, okay? I just want to let you know, brace yourself.
Okay, all right.
Oh, that was great. That was
Absolutely.
great. I enjoyed that story. Normally when people tell a chronology, sometimes it's easy to get lost in the chronology with the number of years and all that stuff, but he made it interesting today, and he made it relevant for me today. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jimmy.
Lena Janelle says, great information. Thank you, with all kinds of emojis, hearts, prayers, smiles, and laughs.
Inspiring to just hear another story of someone, he went through typical struggles like all of us do, going to this job and that job, doing something. He hearkened something to my memory. I remember in the 6th grade, I was always in advanced class. I was in the 6th grade. They gave us a list of jobs we can have when we get out of school.
That there was a limited list of jobs.
It was ridiculous.
They thought you could have.
It was like 7 or 8 things. That's it. I'm like, what?
Amen.
I remember thinking, that's the only jobs I have.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to be a policeman. I didn't want to be a fireman. I didn't want to be a school teacher. What else was it? And then they had surveyor on it. And he said he tried that for a little while too.
Yeah, my brother does that actually now.
I didn't want to do that either. But to me, that was like the least of maybe I could be a surveyor.
Absolutely.
But then as we get in the car and drive around, we see all other kinds of people doing stuff. So it blew my mind.
Dr. Davies says, I came into the room right on time. Amen. Shirley DeJeanette Wyatt says, thank you, Dr. Davies. Jacqueline says, change is opportunity. Look for it. Love it, Dr. Davies. Lena Janelle says, thank you, Dr.
I was looking
Davies.
for you earlier, Mark Greer, because we had Dr. Jimmy J. Davies in here today.
Absolutely.
As a guest.
Good morning, Ari Nelson. Thank you for joining us this morning.
That you would have loved him. Who you say just came in?
Ari Nelson.
Where you see that? Oh, Ari. I just met her last night. I'm going to be on Ari's podcast.
Well, I'm grateful.
She has a podcast, a woman-centric podcast. And thank you for joining us, Ari.
A woman-centric podcast that we're going to invite this handsome man to, because my husband is always in the women's spaces. Every woman's meeting has to have him. Every woman's
conference, boot camp.
Every boot camp, they have the token man.
And I'm it.
And he's it.
But good morning to you,
good
Ari.
morning. Hey, Gail Crump, haven't seen you in a minute. Good morning.
Gail Crump. Good morning, Supermom. How you doing, Gail?
Amen.
Ari thought something was fun.
Mary Kay. I mean, it's almost all of the women-centric organizations.
Mary Kay organizations have me in out as well. I want to say this to you, Ari.
Forever is women-centric.
Yeah, Forever. Yep. You're right, baby. My wife's been with me on all these events, by the way. Okay. Very rarely do I take a trip. Very rarely without Lisa. But anyway, I don't want to.
I'm the producer.
And I don't want to go anywhere.
Let him be the front.
Mark Greer, you missed Dr. Jimmy J. Davies. Mark Greer. And I think you would have particularly loved him because
Mark
of his journey.
Greer says, grandest of risings, my people. Be sure that you catch the replay. Make sure that you catch the replay, Mark. Those of you who watch it and got some nuggets of wisdom out of it, make sure you share it today. We want to make sure that we get as much eyes on it as possible.
I want to say this to Ari Nelson. What we're doing right now, Ari, Lisa and I, we've been doing this since October of 2016, Monday through Friday. That's right, Monday through Friday since October 2016, which means we do about 240 of these live podcasts a year, and we're going into year 9.
Hey, Dr. Beverly, thank you for joining.
We're going into our 9th year.
She says, grand rising to my favorite, awesome, beautiful people. Amen. Ari, thank you. It is impressive.
It is impressive because we have a very loyal.
I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And I am Brian K. McNeill. And together make up what's called
the Empowerment Duo.
Now, this broadcast here, we have a focus. We talk about personal conversations,
business information,
and spiritual inspiration.
With a little bit of shenanigans thrown in.
Together we have, as the Empowerment Duo, we have an expressed ministry. Our ministry is
economic independence
through
entrepreneurship.
That's it.
That's it.
DASSIT. That's it. We're into economic independence through entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
And we love our co-producers. Now,
love you.
In 4 minutes, you're going to see something that you might not have seen on live podcasts before. Lisa and I are going to thank our consistent producers, consistent contributors with greeting songs and with greeting logos. We typically start about 9:42.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Dr. Beverly, she says, gotta catch this replay. Overnight success. That's right.
Jay Maddie made a comment we didn't read.
You did read it.
You didn't. Did I? He said it takes at least 10 years of work before people see an overnight success. I told you I read that already. Dang.
You be slobbing on me.
You ain't say that this morning.
Y'all can buy him for $1 and I will loan you the $1.
It wasn't all that.
James Usher says now where they failed to keep. Oh, we already read that. You moved everything.
Okay.
Absolutely. Jacqueline says, talking about overnight success, about to reignite my Market for Millionaires podcast. Accumulated over 60,000 listeners in 8 years. I interview working their way to great wealth and how they are making it happen. God is a healer.
Sister Jacqueline, the more we learn about your story, the more I'm impressed by it and amazed by it. Let me say something about what Sister Jacqueline just said. She had her podcast. This is a podcast. I'm going to schedule myself to be on the Aries podcast this morning at some point. I am in a podcast campaign mode. I am looking to be a podcast guest. I have books. I have a business. I have this podcast. I have Lisa. So I am looking to find
You have Lisa?
And you have me. Okay. My books, I've written 6 books. My books are mostly about entrepreneurship and sales, but I have 3 children's books too. And my latest one is 932, the 9 most important words, 3 most important skills, 2 most important questions. So I'm actively looking for podcasts, and I'm asking you if you know a podcast that you believe will be a good fit for me.
Let me know, or else they won't happen. Lena Janelle says, y'all gotta watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again and share as usual.
Because that's your champion.
And y'all nasty.
We're not nasty. And Ari says, that's wonderful. Love the completing of each other's sentences. Well, that's kind of like we had a coach for this podcast too. We did. And he told us we should have our little mantra.
That's not why we complete each other's sentences. We complete each other's sentences because we practically put the information into each other's heads.
Oh,
Craig says, good morning, everyone.
Good
have
morning,
a blessed
Craig.
day on purpose and enjoy it to the fullest. Amen. Lena Janelle says, I want you and Lisa on my podcast.
I want to be on your
podcast.
There was a season, Lena, every time I was getting booked to speak, okay, but they would like me, but they would really like Lisa. Okay. They would say, Brian, you were great. We got to have you back. But the next time, have Lisa speak too. But then they got to be blatant about it. They didn't want me by myself no more. They only wanted me with Lisa on the podcast. I went through that season.
Baby. I'll be a +1. Lena Chanel says she wants us, and Jacqueline says, Brian, you and Lisa are on the list. Amen.
We want to be.
Good morning, Craig Saab. He says, good morning, everyone. Have a blessed day on purpose and enjoy it to the fullest. Amen. Terry, come on through.
Terry Roberts.
You can have it. She says, I want to have a podcast just to have you both on it. Well, say that.
You want to do it just to have us on the podcast?
Say that. That will be alive. Until
Dr.
you have
Deborah,
podcast, it's alive.
Yeah. I saw your face this morning because we had an evening here. Lisa and I, we like to have adults over, grown people over, chilling with us. And there was one night you were over here with us. We were out in the back patio. We took pictures. I was having cigars. Sophia, president, was there. And everyone had blankets on them, except for me and Lisa. For some reason, we didn't have blankets on us. But you were sitting there with a blanket on, and you were just so relaxed sitting next to Lisa. We were just chilling out back. And I saw that picture of you today, Dr. Deborah, so you got you in my head before the broadcast.
Oh, good morning, Carmelo Baker. Thank you for joining us this morning. She is the kindness advocate.
Amen.
And the author of Please Do Not Treat Me Differently. I am excited. Hey, Luvinia, thank you for joining us this morning.
Wonderful watching. I'll be back. I go out to my she shed and do my morning chores. I'm looking forward to watching more. LOL, love. Now she does her podcast is called.
I love you back.
Her podcast is called She Shed Something. Okay, she does all her work out on She Shed.
She Sheds are amazing.
What you need a She Shed for?
I don't have a She Shed.
I know. I asked you before. What would you do with it if you had it?
I would live in it. You would have to come get me.
Please, you wouldn't live in it.
I could live in.
Some people don't play by themselves well.
I do.
You know.
I've learned to.
You learn to, yes, but that's not your natural move.
But if I had a she shed with all kind of stuff in it,
you would, really.
I'd be in here like it's my she shed.
Yeah, I hear her, right? She says she would use her she shed if she got it.
I use my office like a she shed.
Yeah, but we have to work here too sometimes.
That's only because you come here. Thank you for commenting, Dr. Davies. He's got his computer training for entrepreneurs. Dr. Davies would love to have you on our Every Black Entrepreneur International Mastermind meeting.
Invite us because we want to be with you. We like you.
That's right. Say less.
I say it all the time. Lisa and I have the best friends. Okay, I'm counting Dr. Jimmy Davies as our friend now. Okay, we got the best friends. So now it's time to do what we do. It's 9:44. What we're about to do is say thank you to our consistent contributors. And the way we do that here is with greeting songs and with greeting logos. Before we do that, let's read what Lena says.
Lena says, part of why I enjoy this podcast, this one right here, is because of y'all's incredible chemistry as both a married best friends and business partners.
Thank you for saying
love, she shed. I do too, Lisa. I use my studio office as my she shed. Well, that's right. Say that.
Anything Lisa tells me that she wants, I'm gonna want to get it for her. So on the next house, I wouldn't do it here, but the next house, I'll make sure you have a she shed because I want
air conditioned, heated,
conditioned and heated she shed. Whatever my baby wants, I'm gonna get it to her. But now we're about to do what we do. Go to the top, baby. And
yes. Yeah.
Now, for example, the way we say, we say thank you to our consistent contributors. The first on the room today is Miss Phyllis George. She's been with us for the full ride. 8 years she's been with us. She has a greeting logo and it goes, Miss Phyllis is here. So clear the way. Miss Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day. That's Miss Phyllis's greeting logo. Cynthia Moore,
international best-selling author.
More. Cynthia B. Moore. Cynthia B. Moore. More. Cynthia B. Moore.
That's right.
Lena Janelle, baby. Lena Janelle, baby. We gets high off our art, don't know how to behave. Ooh, that's Lena Janelle's jam. Terry Robinson. Come on, baby.
I'm Terry Robinson,
and I
achieve anything you want done, baby. Do it naturally.
That's Terry Robinson's greeting jam. Brother Uzama has a greeting jam too.
Bitcoin King, he's the Bitcoin King.
Uzama.
Bitcoin King, he's the Bitcoin King.
Uzama. If you watch this thinking, hey man, that's cute, I want a jam too, you can get one. Here's how you get a greeting song. Be a consistent contributor. What's a contributor? Someone who says something in the comments. This podcast is run by comments.
Your comments. Y'all think we smart? We can read good. That's
y'all make us look smart. That's what it is.
We can read well.
Jay Mattier, get ready.
Get ready.
Oh, get ready. Get ready, because here Jay comes. Get ready, because here Jay comes. Get ready, because here Jay comes. That's Jay Mattier's jam. Emily Nelson has a jam too, and it goes,
oh, Emily, and you came and you gave without taking. Oh, Emily. There's no prompter here, nothing but these old memory banks. So if we get to your song and we don't remember it, you gotta help. You gotta help, right?
We got more than 60 of them in our heads.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, Donnie, we still gotta come up with you. Jacqueline Rosier
has a logo and a song. Her logo goes well according to Jacqueline, And her song is
Jacqueline Rosie, pretty little one that I adore. You're the only one my heart beats for. I'm so glad that you are mine.
Ernest James Usher has his logo.
Yes,
too.
he does.
It goes, if you need web designing or some digital marketing, don't call me. Call Ernest James Usher. Ernest James Usher. That's Ernest James Usher
Good
jam.
morning, cousin Lois.
Good morning, cousin
Potts.
Lois.
Excuse me, newly retired cousin Lois and Potts.
Praise
and
God.
I know that Act 2, Part 2 is going to be amazing because she is so young, vibrant, and beautiful. I cannot believe that this is anything less than the beginning.
Some people say when you retire, you get more busy than you've ever been.
Absolutely.
And you wonder how you ever had time for a job. Shirley DeJohnette Wyatt has a jam too. Shirley DeJohnette Wyatt will rock you, rock you. Shirley DeJohnette Wyatt will rock you, rock you.
Good morning again to you from all the way in Colorado. We got Colorado, we got Arizona, we got
Kuwait.
We are appreciating
Dr.
you.
Deborah.
Dr. Deborah's in the building. Dr. Deborah, trauma healing and manifestation coach.
I'm trying to speed through because I might want to bring Doc back in. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Mark Greer has a jam too.
You got my
so
ready?
wide you can't get around it.
So low you can't get under it.
So high you can't get over it. Mark Greer is under a groove. He's getting down just for the funk of it. Mark Greer is under a groove. Nothing can stop us now. That's Mark Greer's jam.
That's right. Craig Saab.
1,000 degrees.
You'll be on your knees.
And you'll be burning, begging, please. Brother Freeze. Craig, let me borrow your VCR so I can dub a tape. That's Craig's logo and his song.
Absolutely. I think we got Terry
Dr.
says
Beverly
California's in the house. And Dr. Beverly.
Start off.
Okay.
It goes, Dr. Beverly is on the show. Good morning, Dr. Beverly.
Amen.
I think we got it.
Janelle says, request do Craig soon. That's my jam too.
Craig.
And that you ain't no.
Gail Crump, you deserve a song. You visited a bunch of times. But you got to start making some comments too.
And she also says, hey, thank you, Antinobi, but Antinobi's not here, so we can't say thank you, Antinobi.
Yeah, you got to be here to get
your song saying. You want to bring Dr. Davis back up real quick?
Bring him up one real quick, please.
Dr. Davis, can we bring you up? Thumbs up. Can we bring you up? Hey.
I just wanted to say thank you for being such a great guest.
Well, I appreciate it. I've thoroughly enjoyed this.
I was going to ask you, did you have fun today?
Absolutely. And like I said in the comments, I would love to have you on the Every Black Mastermind meeting. That I didn't mention. We meet every Monday night on Zoom. We have entrepreneurs. Well, since COVID happened, we get entrepreneurs from all over the world coming every Monday night on Every Black Mastermind meeting. In fact, we even started a Caribbean group on Tuesday nights, and we started an African group, we're restarting it, which is on Saturday.
Back on Monday, is it 8 p.m., right?
8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, 8 p.m. Eastern. Do we have the link for that?
You should. I'll give it to you, but you can also register on the website every.black. But I'll be sure to get the link, the direct link.
Thank you very much. I just wanted some people that hadn't seen your face to see your face and hear your voice again. So can you go back in the green room for a little bit? Okay.
Sure thing.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Ernest, Lena says, love Mark Greer's 2 headshot in progress. Thank you.
Not in progress.
The man got some bops. Amen. Ernest said, this was a great episode. Geez, y'all drop gems. Amen.
Y'all help, man.
Amen. Lena Janelle said, and telling some friends.
Lena does what she says she's going to do.
Go through.
Let's use Lena as an example, okay? Lena consistently shares our podcast because she finds value in it.
Absolutely.
If you find value in it, please, ma'am, please, sir. Sharing is caring.
That's right. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share, so that we can get those numbers up on that YouTube channel. We appreciate you.
Somebody would probably have found value in it like you did.
We look forward to seeing you on tomorrow, where we have Dr. Sade Why I Do as our special digital branding expert as our guest on tomorrow.
We're gonna have Wisdom Wednesday too with Mark Greer.
Yes.
Okay. Woo. Tomorrow's gonna be a full day, y'all.
And don't forget to have sex.
Whoop whoop.